Say there were three blokes just sitting in a pub, just chatting with each other over a beer, and they're thinking about all that had happened through COVID, and now what's happening with Brexit and all that's happening in politics at the moment. And say, what about these dirty rich people though? The ones who make all the money, the ones who were going to drop the tax, weren't they, for them? What about them? Let's imagine a bloke who's really wealthy. Let's say he's a stock market trader. You know, like that Nick Leeson bloke was. But actually we heard that somebody torched his house. And his family were inside, all killed. And the man's bereft. And when he goes to claim on the insurance, he realises he's been subject to a scam. Policy's not worth the paper it's printed on. So he's lost his family, he's lost his house. His Tesla was parked in the garage, that had gone as well. These blokes are serving really well right. Then it turns out that his wife's still alive. And she's so angry with him. He's so pleased that she's alive, and she's so angry with him. You know, what an idiot. Why didn't you get the proper insurance? And why did the house burn down? Because of that cheap blimmin' solar panels that you got put up by your mates doing you a deal. Whose fault was it? That's one of the blokes. Just then a vicar came into the pub. Nodded. They all went quiet. It's the vicar. Howdy, vicar. How are you doing today? He said, it's been a tough day. Really tough day. Person who I really respected died just recently. He was 95 and I did his funeral today. Not that long ago, he sat down and told me a bit about his life. How he'd been brought up in a really poor family. How two of his brothers died as babies. How his family really, really struggled. There was no money. And now when he was old enough, he went into the army as a volunteer. Was fighting in World War II. Got captured and was then held a prisoner, treated like a slave, working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, no respite. And when finally, after 5 years, he's freed and he comes home, he finds out that his wife and kids were killed when a doodlebug dropped onto their house during a blitz. So he'd left with nothing. No family, no home. And yet slowly he pulled himself together, he said. Started to rebuild what life he could. And he was always kind, he was always friendly, he was always loving. And it used to amaze me, the fact that, for me, this is the vicar speaking, but this is me speaking as well, I'm sure you as well. We haven't had anything as catastrophic as that happen to us. And yet, I mean, I question my faith every day, pretty much. And yet this guy held his faith throughout all that had happened to him. And the church was packed to say goodbye to him. Who was to blame? We can think of the story of Job. Who was to blame in that? And it's a rhetorical question that I kindly leave with you. God bless.